front. That's what James Conrad does. He gets out in front of his shot, and that's the only reason that you would fly off the end of the tee pad. So I can throw it 600 feet and never go over this line from here. You know, I'm not, my power, my energy is going into the disc, and I'm just using the left side of my body to release the pressure so I'm not blowing out my hip joint and need 5 hip replacements by the time I'm 30. But this move right here, wham, is just like in golf or just like in baseball and anything. You're at the top of the golf swing, you don't go arms first. That's how you just hit a swipey fade. You would go here, hips first, impact position, follow through. So there's certain things you have to use first, and in disc golf I believe that you have to start swinging your hips just before you start swinging your arm. And that hip clearing, obviously since your spine's attached to your shoulders pretty much, your hips moving creates your shoulders to move, which creates your arm to move, and that's what creates that whip. And that's the difference between people who go really far and people who just like use their arm to throw it. Does that make sense? Once you start using all these little levers together, it's like a domino effect, right? Boom, 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 fast. So you have to, in golf, you have a 40-inch lever to hit the ball, right? That helps you create speed. There are certain shafts that help you create speed and lag and stuff. In disc golf, you have your body and a frisbee. This is your tools. So there's no lever in disc golf. So you have nothing to help you. In baseball, if you had to hit that ball with your hand, it's never going to get past the pitcher's mound, right? But you have a wooden bat that's 33 inches that you're whacking the crap out of it with, so of course it's going to go further, but we don't have a lever in this game. So since we don't have a lever, you have to use all the little hinges and unhinges of your body to create power and consistency. Does that make sense to you guys? So when you get here and you start firing that hip, that creates you to clear your body. Does that make sense to you guys? You're getting your body out of the way to let that arm come through and throw. Because there's no way possible to reach back and pull straight, right? Like, if I do this, I have like no power. Like, you can't like hold it super close to yourself and do that, but that'll be the straight line from the reach back, correct? So there's a point, everyone thinks, oh, you have to have a super straight reach back. You can't have that. Like, there's no way to have this super straight reach back because my feet are staggered, my hips are one way, my shoulders are this way. You can't like pull it straight. It just doesn't make sense. So there's gonna have to be a point where you pull it as straight as you can, and then there's a lever, your elbow, that kind of comes around and gets you to throw. But also, it's not just your elbow because it's your shoulders, your left side, your hips, your core, your back, everything coming through, which straightens you back out. So, does that make sense to you guys? So that hip, that left hip is like, in my opinion, what throws the disc. Does that make sense to you guys? So, when I was teaching myself, no one taught me any form. Like, I learned my form all on my own. I just watched and thought, okay, I like what this person does here. This person's doing this because it creates this motion. This person's doing that. So I just built my own form off of watching everybody else and kind of picked and choose what I liked and what I didn't like and implemented, the things I liked. And one thing that I think really would make everyone more consistent is to think about in this motion here, bam, fire those hips. Right there, that's going to create so much power, it's going to create so much consistency, and it's going to put your body in this motion that you're not going to be able to be back like this, right? You can't fire your hips and be, like, it's impossible to use your back hip and like leave your back foot on the ground and like be late. Does that make sense to you guys? So what happens when you're leaving that back foot on the ground and you're late, as I call it, like I said, you're losing power and accuracy and consistency, because sometimes maybe the foot slides a little bit, sometimes it doesn't. And that's going to dictate where your shot goes. And like I said, maybe not at local league, but at our level, 3 degrees makes a huge, that's the difference between winning and losing a tournament. If my throw is 3 degrees off the whole week, I will get 60th place. If your throw is 3 degrees off at league, you might still win. But in order to create consistency and be better in tournaments and better in team play and all that stuff, the more consistent you can be is going to be the better you're going to be able to execute the shots. Does that make sense to you guys? Anybody have any questions about hips or below right now? Go ahead.